stir me from my slumber. I'm the eternal dragon. Now make your first wish. Your wish has been granted. Here's your host, Tim Bridgewater.
If you've been paying attention the past couple days, you know that they just released yet another DLC character. Well, he's not released yet, but they announced who that character is, and it is none other than Kid Goku from Dragon Ball GT. That's right, you heard it right. Not Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball GT. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go on some kind of big ass Dragon Ball GT hate bandwagon right now. That's not what this is. We all have our own feelings and emotions and mixed sort of thoughts about Dragon Ball GT and what happened to it. I went into a lot of my thoughts about it back in episode 0 of the podcast, and I might actually be willing to talk about it again as a part of the Patreon sort of thing if I decide to do that. But I thought it was very interesting that they chose to bring Kid Goku in, but they go out of their way to let us know that is the GT version. That is a part of his name. It's like Kid Goku parentheses GT. And not only that, he's wearing the blue gi with like the brown sort of slacks pants or gi bottom, whatever you want to call it. So it's clearly GT Goku as a kid, right? He has a tail. Which I had to try to sort of double check and remind myself if Kid Goku had a tail in GT. For some of it he does, and some of it he doesn't, right? Like it's something later on where his tail shows back up because they pull it out or something like that. I don't know. but I think what's most interesting about this photo, because right now there's only photos of this out, is that he has the power pole, right? And unless I'm mistaken, okay, because I can stand here in front of everybody and admit that I have not watched Dragon Ball GT in at least 10 years. Okay, at least. But I don't remember him getting the power pole again in GT. So maybe I'm wrong, but I don't remember that happening. So it's a very interesting choice, assuming that that's correct, that they would have given him the power pole in the game, right? Because regular Dragon Ball Kid Goku had the power pole. As far as I remember, not GT Kid Goku. But so the question is, why do you think they did that? Why did they decide to give him a power pole? Well, if I had to make some sort of, a guess about it, I would say that, not only is that power pole pretty much synonymous with Kid Goku, just from the history of Dragon Ball, but it could make for a very interesting and fun game mechanic, because if you see the screenshots, he actually uses this thing in battle. He has some techniques where he can kind of launch himself into the air using it. It kind of it expands, and he uses this thing in battle. So that could be a very unique sort of angle that none of the other characters in the game have, I believe. I mean, no one has a weapon, right? I'm pretty sure this would be the only character in the game that has a weapon, unless I'm forgetting something. I mean, they could have even given Videl a weapon because she can't really shoot energy waves and stuff but they didn't even do that. So they may have said, well, let's give him the power pole, even though this version of Kid Goku would also be able to turn Super Saiyan, right? Because he was able to do that in GT. He was a kid, but he was still able to go Super Saiyan level 1 and 3. Right, and then of course eventually 4. But I don't know. It's interesting that it just seems like they're trying to maybe combine Kid Goku from Dragon Ball with Kid Goku from GT, and who knows why? Maybe it could be something as simple as just not wanting to have yet another Goku in the game wearing the orange gi, right? Because we already have Super Saiyan Blue Goku in the orange gi. We have Super Saiyan Goku in the orange gi, and we have Base Goku in the orange gi. So Kid Goku in the orange gi might have been a bit much. I don't know. Who knows? So they may have just said, well, let's just make him, let's just do the GT version. But we do like the power pole, so we'll give him that too. So some of the screenshots here just kind of show some of his moves here. It looks pretty fun. I mean, it's definitely a weird choice, but I have to say that for the first time in a long time, I think I'm going to be interested in learning this character. Mostly because of that power pole. I mean, that power pole is probably the best idea that they could have ever, like I just want to see how that functions in game. So apparently he has maybe a big Kamehameha as a super. There's definitely a big spirit bomb that he has. And I want to say they may be hinting at another super of some sort. And everybody's kind of wondering, well, what will that be? Will he turn into Super Saiyan 4? Or something like that. And will he be able to change and go to Super Saiyan 4 in the middle of the battle and continue the rest of the fight? Well, that's very unlikely, right? Because that would essentially be two characters in one. And that just sounds like a lot of work for one DLC character, right? Because Super Saiyan 4 Goku would fight completely differently than Kid Goku. He would have to. He's a lot taller. That means his hitbox would be completely different. His animations will be completely different. So that would be two characters, really, when they've only announced that there are two left total. So I doubt that they'll make two characters in one. So I don't know why people are really thinking about that. Now, what they may do is have his super, for one of his supers, he goes to level 4, does the attack, and then turns back into Kid Goku. That would be a cool way of kind of combining both, and you still kind of get that Super Saiyan 4, because we already kind of see that in the game anyway with some of the other characters. Like, for instance, when Super Saiyan Goku does one of his supers, he goes to level 3, and then he does the move, and then he powers back down to level 1. So it could be something like that, where he goes back. Now, I think ultimately the main reason why they probably decided to go with GT Goku instead of original Dragon Ball Goku is that they probably wanted to incorporate some of GT in the game. I mean, why not? I mean, he's the first GT character they put in the game. Most of these characters appear in GT, but it's not the GT version of those characters. For example, Krillin doesn't have hair in this game. Vegeta doesn't have a mustache in this game. So as far as there being a GT specific sort of character, I guess they decided to go with this one. It also stands to reason that the last character that they have to reveal would also be a GT character, because I don't understand why they would only have one. It would seem weird that they would only have one character from GT. So maybe that other character will be Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Or more likely it'll be a villain, because it seems like they would bring in one good guy from GT and one bad guy from GT. So that lends to Omega Shenron, or maybe even Baby Vegeta. I'm more inclined to think it'll be Baby Vegeta, just because, well, it's Vegeta, right? I don't think anyone's complaining about more versions of Vegeta in the game at this point. But it'll be kind of interesting to see what happens with that. So from Dragon Ball GT back over to Dragon Ball Super. Guys, look, you're already here, okay? You might as well go ahead and watch another video. I mean, why waste your time going anywhere else? Plenty of videos right here, right in your face. Go ahead and click. Make sure you head over to facebook.com/rockthedragonpodcast. Like, subscribe, share, comment. You know it. Do it all, baby. We're going to do it. It's a good year. Yeah, I'm running out of time.